Ciao a tutti. Hello everybody. My name is Benoit and I am a CTO co-founder of a company named Akeneo. And at Akeneo we are building a software, open source software, to manage product information. It's called the PIM, Product Information Management. But today we'll talk about memory leaks in PHP and how to manage them, how to try to fix them with a tool that we are using at Akeneo, which is called PHP Memafo. First thing first, what's a memory leak? Memory leak is when you still have stuff inside your memory, do not need anymore, but that's still inside the memory, so it takes place in your memory. Maybe I will ask a question for you. How many of you are already had to fight or struggle against a memory leak? Yeah, quite a lot. That's cool. That's cool because in the PHP world, you may ask yourself, should I care about memory leak? And it's a good question because usually, the lifetime of a PHP process is equal to the lifetime of the HTTP exchange. It means that once you answered to the request by a response, your PHP process is removed from memory. So even if you have a memory leak during your HTTP exchange, then it doesn't matter because it has been removed from memory. That's true, but there's two things here. First, we are using more and more capable but complex stack, complex libraries that at some points may induce memory leaks inside your program. And at some points, even during the lifetime of an HTTP exchange, you may have memory leaks that can push your server down. But maybe the most relevant part is then when you have long-running background process that can run for hours, and with a memory leak, it can be critical. Why do I care about memory leak? Here is a logical schema of how a PIM works, Product Information Management works. So you have a centralized place where you put all your product information coming from different sources. Then in the centralized place, you have your user that will enrich and translate the information. And once the quality has been validated, you send the information to your e-commerce website, paper catalog, and stuff like that. And technically, it means I have a lot of jobs that will run for the PIM. So I will have import jobs that may import millions of products or tens of millions of products. Then can take hours to run. I will have export jobs to put the data to my target. And in the middle, I have some tools to help the productivity of my user. In this situation, I have tools to manipulate thousands of products at the same time and stuff like that. So I have a lot of jobs, and I had a lot of memory leaks as well with my team. And when you look at the effect of the memory leak, the first one is pretty obvious. You're using more memory than needed. So there's less memory available for other processes on the same machine. But the other one is maybe a little bit more critical, is that when you are using more memory than needed, your program is getting slower. When you have a memory leak, your program is getting slower. And it's even more critical when you have jobs that run for hours. And the jobs that took maybe 2 hours, that should maybe took 2 hours, maybe will take 3, 4, 10 hours because of a memory leak. The first question maybe is, but yeah, in PHP, we don't care about the memory. We don't have to manage memory. And that's true. If you ever already worked with C, you will see that you need to release the memory by yourself. And PHP is doing that for you. We'll look at how memory is managed in PHP because that will give us some information on how a memory leak can be created with a PHP program. And the interesting thing with PHP is that there are two mechanisms to release data from memory. The first one, it's called the ref counter. It's very basic, so it's very efficient and very fast. The idea of the ref counter is that it will remove the memory that you don't use anymore as soon as it's not used anymore. The way it works, let's have a look at how it works inside the memory. So I have this little nice function that do stuff, obviously. And so there's 3 lines in there. First, I will instantiate a new object from a standard class. In memory, that we create a structure called a zval. A zval is a structure that holds your data inside the PHP engine. And there's a lot of information on this structure. Obviously, there's the data, there's the type, and so on. And there's one information that will quite interesting for us. It's called the ref count. The ref count is a number of references that are pointing to this zval. In this situation, I have on my left here, I have the context of my function, meaning all the variables that are defined in this function. So I have my $object variable pointing to the zval, so I have one reference count. Okay. And then I do an array. If this creates another zval in memory, this time of type array, and I have another variable pointing to this array, which create, so my ref count is at 1 in this case. Now I put my object inside the first entry of my array, and this creates a new references between the two zval. So I have ref count at 2 for my object. Okay? Perfect. When I arrive at the end of the function, it means that I will leave the function, so the context of the function itself will be removed from memory. So it means that all the variables will be removed from memory at this point. So it means that all the references that are coming from the variable to the zval will be removed, and that's the reason why now, to my zval array, I have a ref count at 0. I still have ref count at 1 for my object because of the references between the two zval, but this one is at 0. And when a ref count reaches 0, it's where the ref counter is triggered. And the ref counter, when it sees zval at 0, it removed it from memory. So this zval has been released from memory. So it means that now I don't have any more references pointing to my object. It reaches 0 by itself, so what happened? It gets removed from memory. That's cool. The ref counter works pretty well in most cases. There's one case where the ref counter doesn't work properly. It's this case here. So when you look at this function, you may guess that at the end of the function, all the memory that has been taken during the function should be released. So let's look at what is happening with this function. So I create one object A, one variable pointing to it, ref count at 1. Object B, ref count at 1 as well, because one variable. I create a relationship between my object A and object B, so I have two references, this one and this one, pointing to this zval. So I've got a ref count at 2. Same thing on the other direction, and I have a ref count at 2. Pretty simple, pretty easy. But what happened when I arrive at the end of my function? It's where there's a problem, because, okay, I remove all the variables, so I still have one ref count at 1 and ref count at 1 here. I never reach 0 here. What does it mean? It means that if I want my first object to be removed from memory, I need the second object to be removed from memory first. But to remove the second object from memory, I need my first object to be removed from memory. It's not going to happen. It will never work with the ref counter. And that's what we call a circular reference. Because there's a circle of references between objects. And the ref counter cannot handle circular references. You may say to me, yeah, sure, but circular references don't exist in the real world. It's a pure theoretical structure. Nobody is using that. It's not exactly the truth. For example, when you have a tree structure, often you want to have a bidirectional relationship between objects. In this case, you have a circular reference, or maybe more circular references. Same thing when you're doing bidirectional mapping with doctrine. You will have circular references between your entities. So yes, there's a lot of circular references in our world. But that's okay, because the second mechanism that has been created for PHP in 5.3, so quite a long time ago, it's the circular reference collector. It's often called garbage collector, but it's something very specifically designed to collect circular references. It's its job. It only does that. Okay, let's try to do something like that. So the same function than before, the build object, but I will iterate a little bit on it, 2000 times. And I will have a look at the memory usage. Yeah, okay. I just told you there's a mechanism to clean up circular references, but still the memory usage is increasing a lot. So there's maybe a catch somewhere. And yes, the way the circular reference collector works is far different than the ref counter, because there's a delay between the moment the data is not used anymore and the moment the data is cleaned up from memory, is released from memory. And that's the biggest difference. here you can see that at 5,000 iterations and 10,000 and 15,000 iterations, the garbage collector of the circular references has been triggered. That's not random number, and you will understand later why. The way the circular reference collection works, it works in combination with the ref counter. Each time the ref counter is decremented, the ref count of one object of an array, the circular reference collector put it inside a buffer. And this buffer has 10,000 entries. By default, it's inside the PHP. You have a 10,000 buffer with by default, it's empty. And each time an object on an array is as its ref could decremented, it gets added to the buffer. And it only does that. It just puts that in the buffer. Then, when it reaches the last entry of the buffer, when the buffer is full, then the garbage collector is triggered. And what will happen at this time? It will interrupt your program. It will say, stop, I need to do something. Your program will stop. It will iterate over all items. And for all items, it will try to find out if there's still a living variable that are still pointing to this item. For example, the first item, okay, he found out there's a variable for it. So it stays in memory because if there's a variable, it means that the developer will need it at some point. But for the one after, okay, there's no variable. This one, there's a variable. I'll keep it in memory. This one variable, and I remove this one. And then, once the garbage collector has done his job, your program continues. So the cool thing with PHP is that with these two mechanisms, the ref counter and the cycles collector, circular references collector, there's a proper cleanup of items that are not referenced anymore. We have a proper way to clean up memory in PHP. The second thing we can deduce from this fact is that a memory leak is born in PHP only when there's item not needed anymore, but that's still referenced by a live variable in your code. So let's leak. Let's try to simulate a leak, a memory leak. I still have my build object, but this time I'm returning object A, and I keep one object A out of 10 inside this leak holder. Let's look at what's the impact in terms of performances. On the blue curve, you get the performances of your application. I start out at 1.3 million of objects generated per second to 200,000. So I divided by 6 the performances of my program during the memory leak. And you can see that my memory is increasing a lot. So there's a big impact in terms of performances when you have a memory leak. And the question is why there's a big impact. Let's look at a buffer, a garbage collector buffer, full of items that are still referenced by variable. So that's leaking. What will happen each time the buffer is full? Each time the buffer is full and a ref count is decremented, the garbage collector is triggered, your program is stopped, the garbage collector will try to iterate over all items, trying to find if there's some items that can be freed from memory, that can be released from memory, finding nothing, failing again, and the next time ref count is decremented, doing the same and again, trying to iterate, trying to clean up data that will never be cleaned up. And this fact is quite interesting because in some situation, 80% of the execution time of your program is about trying to clean up memories that cannot be cleaned up because of a memory leak. So we'll try to find out a way to fight memory leak, to fix memory leak. And there's mainly two ways to address the problem. The first one is to use a profiler, like for example Blackfire or some other profiler, that will, or Xdebug by example, that gives you the information and when a function has taken a memory and when the memory has been released, but doesn't give you why and doesn't give you what's inside the memory. So that's the reason why I created PHP meminfo, in order to know why and what inside the memory to deduce the why. So PHP meminfo is a pretty simple program. It's open source system. There's two parts in PHP extension that you have to compile for your PHP version. And and this PHP extension will allow you to dump the content of memory inside the JSON file. And once you have the JSON file, it provides some analyzer, PHP programs that will analyze the content of the dump file. Let's have a look at an import. Okay, I want to import these files. Let's imagine there's thousands of lines. It's a CSV file with users. The first column is about the username, then you have the email and the full name. Pretty simple. Here's a program that does that. I iterate over, I'm using SPL CSV file object system from native PHP, so each line is converted directly to an array. So I'm created a new user, I set his login, email, and full name. I use Doctrine to persist my user, and I flush every 1,000 item. From first sight, it does look like the program is pretty cool. I mean, there's no reason I will get any leak because every time I am getting a new user for my $, user variable, meaning that the ref counter should clean up my data behind me. But let's try to launch this program. Okay, so I'm running it. It's a Symfony application. Okay, I provide the CSV file, and I am in production environment for Symfony. The first thing you may notice, it is slowing down, right? It's even visible with naked eye. It is slowing down. So let's look at the memory. I do a little top, and I see if you look at the virtual memory column of the top, you can see that it's increasing. The memory is increasing. So here you have the two main symptoms of a memory leak: slowing down and memory increase, memory usage increase. So first thing, now that I know that I have a memory leak with this program, I will dump the content of my memory. To do that, I use the only one function that is provided by the extension, which is meminfo dump. You provide a stream, and it generates a file where you have all the content of the memory. And I do that every 1,000 users because it's very interesting to follow the trend of the memory leak. To better understand the memory leak, it's better to understand how it's evolving in time. Now that I have my files, I will use my first analyzer, and my first analyzer will be the summary analyzer. It's a way to provide an overview of what's inside the memory. So it's all the type of objects and entities that are inside memories. And it says, okay, you have after 1,000 users imported inside your database, you have 1,000 users that's still in memory. Okay, let's look at 5,000. At 5,000, you have 5,000 users in memory. It's quite strange. So I know that I'm leaking users now. I know that users are the main problem with my application. So I will use another analyzer, which is a query that a way to analyze the JSON file by providing filter. I want to find all objects of class user in my file. It gives you this kind of output with all the information of the user and an ID. Technically, it's a memory address of the object in memory. And this ID will be, I will use it with my third analyzer that will find me the path between my object that is leaking and a variable that's still alive in memory. This way, I will understand why this object has not been removed, because it's still reference to a variable. When I run this analyzer, I get this result. It's better to read it from the bottom. Here, I know that my object, the one I found before, is inside an array, which is the identity map of the unit of work. And by unit of work, it's part of my entity manager, which is itself inside the service container of Symfony, which is itself inside the kernel, which is in $globals, which is a dark little secret of Symfony, that the kernel is inside $globals. So now I know what? I know that my object is still in memory because Doctrine is still keeping it in memory. So I know that the fix will be about clearing my object from memory. Okay, so the fix clearing my class. it will remove all objects of this class from the entity manager. Once I fix the leak, I can see that in terms of memory used, I went from 200 megabytes to 41 kilobytes, which is far more efficient. And in terms of performances, I'm almost 10 times faster than before. Here, the impact of performances comes from two parts. First one is because of the memory leak, but the second one is because of the effect on memory leak on some parts of the application. Here, we are using a unit of work, and the unit of work is getting slower and slower the more objects you have in it. And it's often the case, when you have a memory leak, it's often the case that you have some part of your application that will iterate over the object that is leaking, that is keeping references. So it's one of the other reasons why it's slowing down, because some parts are to do more and more work around this object that are leaking. I would like to finish with some good practices, memory good practices, what we now apply at Akineo to avoid or at least identify memory leak. First thing is monitor your long-running process speed and memory usage, so you can easily detect memory leaks. Second thing is be aware or try to avoid stateful services, services that may keep references to objects. Never use unlimited memory, because if you have a memory leak and you have at -1 for the memory limit, your server will go down. Your server will go down, it may crash other stuff, so very bad idea. And try to keep the number of items in memory at a low level to avoid triggering too often the garbage collection of the circular references. And that's it for me. Thank you very much.